Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the first day of international conference organized by Malaysian Competition Commission, and my name is Andrey Tsyganov, and I am one of the speakers on this conference. During my speech, I try to concentrate on a few problems of young and modern competition authorities, and from my point of view, this experience based on the national competition authority work for last 25 years could be interesting for international audience and for Malaysian competition authority as well. First topic of my intervention was about the specificity of Russian competition law. You know that on many international conferences and in the agenda of the most prominent international meetings, such as International Competition Network meetings or global forums on competition organized in Paris on the field of OECD, there is one important thing, one important topic of discussion. What can competition authorities do with the state interventions that could be in many cases anti-competitive by nature? And different countries and in different jurisdictions there are different ways to react for these anti-competitive actions by state. In some jurisdictions there is a sort of opinion of competition authority on proposed measures made by government or made by different governmental authority. In Russia is a specific situation. In Russia we use the direct law enforcement against the authorities and officials when they violate the competition law. There are specific provisions of competition law that prohibits some acts, actions and concerted practice of authorities, and there are severe sanctions for this kind of violation, and the total number of violations made by state and state officials in Russian, according to the Russian statistic, is nearly equal to the number of violations made by undertakings. It is a very interesting thing, and it seems to me that it's very important for all competition authorities not to be afraid of other state authority of the government. Try to introduce the competition regime in sectoral legislation. Try to react on the proposed actions of state authorities that could restrict the competition on sectoral market or in general in the country's economy. And Russian Competition Authority has a great experience in this area, experience in law enforcement, experience in development of the legal provisions, experience in advocacy, and I think that it could be interesting for competition authorities of other jurisdictions and in Pacific region and in Malaysia as well. The second topic of my speech was about the importance of multifunctionality of competition authorities. Our experience shows that multifunctionality of competition authority helps us to solve the serious macroeconomic problems, not only the problems of development of competition itself, but the problems of creation of new jobs, the problems of growing the incomes of population, the problems of development of the regions of the Russian Federation, and so on. And I think that moreover, the multifunctionality helps us to solve the serious problem, the problems of economic development, and to choose one or two or three of the very big toolkits of measures that can be introduced in the, into our everyday work. We are responsible not only for competition promotion and competition enforcement, but for public procurement, for regulation of natural monopolies, for advertising, for attraction of foreign investments into the Russian economy. And it helps us. It helps us. It makes us stronger. It makes us recognizable on the level of the government. And for instance, we are supported by the President of the Russian Federation. We are supported by the head of the government of the Russian Federation. And it helps us to solve the most serious problem of our work, both on the federal and regional and local levels. Third very important problem that I try to raise in my presentation was the problem of international cooperation. In fact, the situation in the world competition family is very simple, and it's a great challenge for all of us. From one side, we have global economy, we have transnational corporations, we have international by nature violations of competition law, for instance, international cartels. From the other side, we have national competition authorities, national competition legislation, and a lack of international cooperation in this area. Not the cooperation in general, when representatives of competition authority came together and discussed some problems, but competition in the investigation of cases, competition in drafting the proposals on decisions on the cases of violation of competition law. It could be the great and real step forward in strengthening of international competition regime, and it helps national competition authorities as well to solve the economic problems, to develop competition in such areas when the national competition authorities doesn't have enough resources, enough powers to solve these problems. That's all, and I think that this conference is very interesting. It starts with brilliant speeches of the prominent speakers, including the representatives of international organizations, national competition authorities, and honorable guests. And I'm sure that today and tomorrow we know a lot new things about the competition development of different countries. We can discuss the most important and most serious challenges of competition development in our countries. And this conference is very useful for all of us, and I'm sure that it's very important for advocacy of competition law and policy in Malaysia as well. Thank you very much.